Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Cross Button VR Side Quest. This is where we go a wee bit off the beaten track and focus on MetaQuest rather than PSVR 2. Once again, I'm delighted to be joined by Reese and Sean. Hello.
Hello there.
And we are going to have a look at what's been going on in the metaverse. Not really the metaverse. Laurie likes to use that metaverse term. It's not really a metaverse, but it's been a wee while since we were here the last time. We're a wee bit more familiar with our quests now. How are we feeling about them now, Reese?
I like it. I like it a lot. It's good.
I'm pretty much in the same boat. I just wish I would have had to put more time into it, honestly. I wish I would have had more time playing it, because I'm pretty much in the same boat as I was previously.
And I suppose it's been that kind of period of time. When did we do this the last time? December? Was it?
Yes,
December?
either end of November or
much
no,
long
December.
after launch.
It was December.
Yeah.
It was a month after I got it, so yeah, December.
Yeah, so it's that busy time where you don't get that much, but that doesn't mean there's not been a lot to play. Pretty quickly, I think we'll start with some news, because this kind of leads into what you guys have been playing anyway. So since we were last here, there's been a few games that have graduated from App Lab. 2 of which are shooty shit games, aren't they, Reese?
Yeah.
So we've had Ghost of Tabor and we've had Vail, and then we've also had another one that you like, Toy Monsters. So let's take them in turn. Ghost of Tabor. This is one that you were very much looking forward to, Reese, or very much enjoy. How did it go?
I played it in App Lab, so I thought it was in App Lab, and I enjoyed it. I still had some issues, and them issues are still there now. Namely the one that I experienced tonight, to the point where I thought my quest was broken, and that is aiming with two-handed weapons. I did post a video on Twitter. The devs did respond and said it's an occlusion glitch that they're aware of. They did say it's to do with the Quest 2 controllers, but I did let them know that it's the Quest 3 I was playing on. They said it could still happen on there, but basically the gun at the front just kind of went on its own everywhere. So then I spent 30 minutes after that testing other games to make sure my quest wasn't broken. So it's been quite anxiety-ridden even, just because of that one bug.
Yep. I had my first experience with it today as when I was playing with T, while T was frustrated in the background, but I didn't get off to a good start of it in the first place because I came into this like a gigantic headache, and then for some reason the movement in the game was like a magnet, so when I was like moving this way, it would drag me this way. I don't know if that is also a bug, but it did not do any favours for my sort of motion sickness at that point. But
did you have the movement set to headset or hand?
It was on like body tracking at the start, and then I changed it to head, but then it didn't seem to fix it. Maybe I needed to restart the game, but
no,
when I played it,
worked straight away.
I don't know what was going on with it, but it wasn't pleasant. But I did play the tutorial day previous, and I was having quite a lot of fun just figuring out all the different reload mechanics of all the guns, because I think that's what a lot of people say this game has, like the most extreme ways of reloading weapons. You had like shotgun shells in a box. You had to get the box of shells and then place it somewhere, then pull the box open and then pull out individual shells and then put them into a gun. I don't know how you're supposed to do that in the heat of action, but for a mechanic it was really cool.
I can imagine you just dropping all your shells out of your bag in the middle of the guy getting shot at, you try to pick them all up off the floor. Yeah.
And then I realised I left my shotgun like 3 meters behind me.
And I mean, it's probably fair to say that this is one of the most popular VR games right now.
Yeah,
100%.
Like, in terms of, and not even, it's the most kind of lauded as well, like the awards that it's won, the amount of money that it's made, like it's been a huge VR success story. And then to kind of go through this whole situation of the big rigmarole of that graduating from App Lab to the main store, and then to have these known issues, it's a bit disappointing.
I've always seen the passion behind the game. Like that was one of the reasons I picked it up, was just the sheer passion I could see for it. And playing it, you can experience that passion, and you can see there's a lot to it. But at the same point, I'm kind of wondering whether my experience would be better on, say, the PC or when it comes to the PSVR 2. I do feel like some of the issues that you're having on it may be because of the, it's still loading and generating this huge map. And I also noticed, like, again, so the issue I had with the occlusion bug, it didn't happen as much, say, when you was not actually in a server. So I went back to the safe house and it seemed to work fine there, but they did say it's on certain guns and not every gun. And it was probably a good set of the rifles and assault rifles that I did have the issue with. SMGs were fine, pistols were great, and the Twitter post put out, people have commented saying they've experienced a similar thing as well. And yeah, it's a bit of a shame, but I think they're passionate and they know what they've got to do with it.
Hopefully by the time it does come around to the PlayStation version, because if it did launch on PlayStation with these kind of bugs, I think the backlash would be so bad that it would hurt the game. So hopefully by the time that comes around, it's all patched up and bugs are all out of the way on every platform.
So he did say in a couple of days' time for the patch. Obviously, he didn't give an actual estimate of like when it's going, but he said it should be out in a couple of days. So I will test it again then to see what it's like.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say I'll need to try it myself, but we know that's fairly unlikely.
Jump onto the tutorial and just try and load the shotgun, and you'll see how you feel about it.
I've played shooting games with Alex, and I think, like, from your perspective, I think you'd struggle with this one. Like, you're fine with Crossfire Sierra Squad, you're fine with playing a bit of Breaches, if that. I think you would struggle with this to the point where you'd be like, what's the point? Why am I doing this? Because even, like, Sean was going, what's the main objective? And I was like, well, you just kind of drop into the map and, well, gather shit and then go. Well, it's one of them things. It's just... So he was a bit like, well, what do we do other than that? I was like, that's it.
The onboarding experience for something like Breaches is a lot easier to get into, whereas this, because the tutorial is so sort of detailed about getting into all these guns and all the way to reloading them, it takes you quite a while before you probably get into the tutorial of the missions and the structure of the game. More time is spent on trying to figure out the weapons, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, if that's the point of Ghost of Tabor, what's the point of Vail?
Good segue. Vail is more like your competitive style shooters, similar to how COD is, free for all, team deathmatch, domination, all them type of game modes. It's the main purpose of the way Valve's been developed is they're trying to make an esports style competitive first person shooter. And I'd say from what I've played, it hits them marks. It has that kind of feeling of a fast-paced competitive shooter. Again, that's another one I played prior to it coming out onto the actual store. I played it on App Lab, and they didn't have any progression and things like that, and that's all been added now. And as far as I'm aware, like to unlock camos, it's just get headshots, and you just progress by actually like playing the game and killing the enemies and doing the objective and things like that. So, I mean, that's more of your generic shooter, and to be fair, I think I'd get on with that a lot more than...
Is it polished? Does it feel clean and polished?
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, it's one of them things where you still... I don't know if it's just me, but when I play shooters on Quest, I feel like some of them are not... They feel like they have like a looseness to them. They don't feel like they're quite solid in the sense of like the way the arm movement is. Apart from Contractors, that's one that does feel quite solid in that sense. But with Val, I mean, I think it's more polished than Ghost of Tabor, but then again, I think it's because Ghost of Tabor is dealing with these huge maps, whereas Valve's got a few set maps, and I'm not saying the map designs are not bad, like not great, because they're really well designed maps, but you're not dealing with an open scale map, and you're not dealing with, I can't remember the player base on Ghost of Tabor and how many are actually in the level, but you've got to deal with that as well, and all that's kind of accounted for. But I think for like a game I could jump into and play quickly, I'd probably go for Val, just simply because I can go on it, play 2 matches, but that's enough for me. Whereas Ghost of Tabor, there's so many tactics, and the amount of times I've walked out of a door on Ghost of Tabor and someone's just shot me with a sniper, and I'm like, well, okay, I've just lost everything I picked up for the past 20 minutes. And yeah, it's one of them things where it's like, I feel like every time I play Tabor, I've not played it with squad, and I'm still not experienced enough on it to kind of, kill other people. They're just too good. Whereas Val, I can hold my own.
I suppose Vail is more of a game you can just jump in by yourself just for a couple of games where you don't have to rely on a squad or friends to play, which, I mean, I would say the majority of people on VR don't have a group of close friends that play VR, so Vail might be better for most VR players, I guess.
Yeah, I'd say Val's a good one. I'm liking that. I will again say that people on it are pros, and you will probably go into it and go, I can't do this, this is ridiculous. And the gun recoil is something you really have to get used to. But I do think if you give it the time that it deserves, then you'll probably be able to, hold your own on it.
I think I'm going to give it a go this weekend if I get a chance.
Give it.
I'm not.
No.
You're not.
Surprising.
We'll get Alex in a shooter. We will.
I mean, I'm always, if there's ever a time where I need to fill a slot in a squad, then you know I'll always do that. But I mean, I'm always going to be the one dragging the squad down, and I'm never really going to contribute much. I'm just going to be an extra body that might get one shot, and it might be the crucial shot. You never know. But
you can take the hit.
Yeah, I can just be like, just throw me in front of them. I could be the cannon fodder. Like, it's fine. Bang.
Actually, that could work on Tabor.
You'll just be like, do you
The
go
decoy.
first? Yeah.
Just buy some really like fluorescent skins and get Alex to walk out in the middle of the
I
map.
can see it. I can see the mind working now. He's like planning out like how can we utilise this.
Right, $3.99 will get you the. I think it's called the Uwu pack. So if we get you that, I think we can get you right coloured up and bright with the bright guns. Yeah, we've got this sorted. Sean, this weekend.
Open the door and send like lamb to the slaughter. I'll go out with my hands up. Like, shoot.
We can win a match.
Yeah, Alex, go out there first and just walk out. Be a bit louder. Out there, they're shooting from over there, guys. Let's go get them. It's a good idea. We've just got this planned. We're coming for everyone to board now.
Is that the shooting section done? Any more shooters
yes,
you want to talk about?
Shooting section's done.
Good. Glad that's over with. I joke because I know you guys are shooter fans. It's not something that's ever been for me. So.
I mean, last time when Sean said he hadn't played many shooters, and
not in VR, definitely not in VR.
No. So yeah,
And even then in flat, I don't play competitively, but I like shooters, but more story based than any competitive online stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
So the third game I mentioned was again one that you're a fan of, Reese.
I really
Monsters.
Like it. Really do like it.
This is one I was quite surprised to see coming out of that lab because it didn't feel like a game that was going to grip. I'm doing it a disservice, and I don't mean to do it a disservice, but when you see some of these games come out of that lab, it's ones that you've really heard about and that have been really successful. Whereas this one, I feel like it's gone under the radar, and anyone that I've heard talk about it and play it have been very positive about it. But it's not. It was one that surprised me to see it coming out of that lab, if I'm honest.
Yeah, it's again. I do see you coming from there. I first heard of Toy Monsters prior to having the Quest, so back when Quest 3 hadn't came out, and I think it just popped up on my timeline on Twitter, just out of the blue. You know, the algorithm did something magical for once, and the dev was, I can't remember saying this looks pretty good, and he messaged me and said, "Here's a key." I was like, "I don't have a Quest, mate, so you give that to someone else." But eventually, when I got the Quest, I was speaking to him, and he said, "Well, give it a go, and let me know how it was in the Quest 3." Because I think at the time, I don't know if he has now, but I believe. Don't quote this because I might be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure he didn't have a Quest 3. So I've been talking to him here and there, and I've been really impressed with it. It's so heavily inspired by Plants vs Zombies that if you've ever been a fan of the original Plants vs Zombies, not the third-person shooter ones, then you owe it to yourself to play this. Just having the whole line in mixed reality of your different characters, you use your hands, don't use the controllers, and you just grab them all, place them on the board, grab the little stars to get points to put the other ones on the map while you're killing these zombies that come in towards you. And because it's in VR or mixed reality, you can use your hands to stun the enemies coming towards you. You can get power-ups to shoot lightning out of your hands, which feels really cool. It's done really well. But as far as I'm aware, like with people's complaints on the store, like because I looked at some of the reviews, and the ones I've seen, a lot of people say is it's quite short. And bear in mind, this game is only $7.99. It's not like a £20 game, so I mean, for what it is. But as far as I'm aware, like I'm pretty sure when it comes to the full release, they're going to have added more by that time. But for what it is now, every time I go into it, it just gives me that Plants vs Zombies vibe, and I leave with such a grin on my face that I'm happy that I've played it. I'm really enjoying it. He's done a great job on it.
So is the version that we played recently not the final version? That's still an App Lab version.
That's still the App Lab version. So he hasn't released it. It's coming out of App Lab. I think in a few months' time. I'm going to say. I can't remember the dates, but I remember they've mentioned it's a few months. But yeah, it's as far as I'm aware. Like from my perspective, I think it's polished enough to come out of App Lab. Obviously, with hand tracking games, you do sometimes get that little bit of jankiness where your hands go a bit like it doesn't pick up a certain thing. I don't really blame them for that. I blame, tracking, lighting. There's so many factors that blend into the hand issue. So with that,
I couldn't actually get the hand tracking to. Well, I don't know if it's because I was already starting the game using the controllers, but like the hands were showing up in front of it like silhouetted, but when I put the controls down, it wouldn't sort of transfer over into my hands.
I've not tried opening it with the controllers. I've always opened it with the hands already set up, so that might be it. But I've not had any major issues apart from like one time my hand was kind of like looking like it was waving on the screen, and it wasn't. I was like, my hand was standing still, and it's like going like that. Yeah. But for what it is, I really do like it. Yeah. Really do.
Today's the first time I heard of this game, essentially, and I didn't really know what it was about. I watched the trailer, and that was the first thought that came to my head was Plants vs Zombies. And Plants vs Zombie is a game that on my 360, I think it was like free with like Games of Gold at one point.
Yeah, it was something like that. I wanted the Summer of Arcade things or something. It was something like that.
I had like 3 or 4 years worth of all those free games I'd never played, but the one game that I would always like reinstall was the original Plants vs Zombies, just because it was so simple and fun, and you could play that game for hours. And playing this game today, I was almost late to play Tabor with T because I was supposed to go on to Tabor with him, and I looked at my watch and I was still playing Toy Monsters. I was, I think, up to level 7 and unlocked. Just got up to like the dragon enemy power up where you can flame them, and I just kept wanting to play. I just kept playing and playing and playing, and I was having a great time getting all the new power ups. And like you said, it's simple. You just use your hands to just grab the power ups out of the air, and it was just a really fun time. And I think everyone should check this one out because I imagine it's pretty low priced and has a lot of fun to it.
Yeah. And I think there's a lot to be said about simple games, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want this, I don't want that, it should be doing this, and it should be AAA, and it should be... I'm like, but there's so much beauty and simplicity at times. Like, you can lose so much time. There's like some of the games, it's not games I put on here that I've been playing, but there's been a lot of games I've been playing recently that are like, not quite Tetris-likes, but they're almost Tetris-likes. And again, they're quite simple, but just get a mix on that concept. But you can lose hours and hours on stuff like that because you're just sitting there and you're engrossed and you're engaged. And sometimes you want simple. You don't want to be thinking about something. You just want to have something that can pass the time, or not necessarily pass the time, but it does pass the time because you're just kind of clearing your mind, enjoying the simplicity of a simple game like this.
It helps too many simples. That it's mixed reality as well, I find, because you can be in your own environment with friends, family, whoever around you, and you can still play the game while still sort of communicating with other people. And I suppose if you really wanted to, you could cast your screen onto the TV for other people to see what you're doing as well. So I love mixed reality for that because it just opens it up a bit, because VR is constricting in a good and a bad way sometimes, and on the Quest with mixed reality, it's just, you can be getting on with 2 things at once, which is very helpful when you're very busy, I guess.
Although I try that whole going into mixed reality and communicating with people, and it doesn't go down well. I just get really dirty looks back and like, who are you? You're idiot, don't talk to me with a stupid headset on. Like, it's like, no, it doesn't work in my house, but I have tried.
Sit right next to him and turn the speakers up on the headset really loud.
I tell myself I look cool with the Quest on. I don't know if that's true, but I feel like I do, as opposed to when I put the PSVR 2 on, I'm like, I don't feel cool wearing this because it's big up.
You can see yourself in the mirror in mixed reality if you wanted to.
I've done it once, and it didn't confirm what I've just said, but
that's not what I look like in my head.
You weren't quite Robocop.
I still feel like I'm cool in it. Even though I see myself in the mirror, because it's like, that's not how I expected to look in this. Bit disappointment, but then it went back to thinking I do. So I don't care if anyone watches me play Quest.
I'm just going to touch on another couple of things that have been in the news over the last few days before we move on quickly. Not getting into too much detail on these, but Powerwash Simulator has added in some of the Muckingham Files DLC, so there's a few new levels that came to the flat version of the game last year. So it's nice to see this stuff being added for free, and hopefully when you see some of the flat DLCs being added, it gives you hope that you might see a lot of the other ones being added that have kind of come, like you had Croft Manor and things like that. It'd be nice to see them being added. And I think there's loads. The Warhammer's just a new one in flat.
Yeah, I know. I wonder
how many are like exclusives. Like, imagine like the Final Fantasy one won't come to Quest.
Nah. But then you never know, because it is. Square publish it, so you
True.
You never know. But it's because I think it's also had a few Quest 3 updates since we last talked as well, so I think it looks a bit better. They've added a lot more kind of bug fixes and quality of life to this update as well, so it's good that they're paying attention to it, and it's still, like, I love playing this game.
I've been meaning to get back into it. Does it have a mixed reality mode?
No.
No.
I mean,
everything needs a mixed reality.
I mean, I still think that mixed reality mode of going and pretending to clean your car rather than actually cleaning your car is like the way forward. Like, but yeah. So that's Powerwash. Another one that's having a Quest 3 update is another one of. I think this is a bit of a theme tonight, but another one of the games that you really like, Greece's Stride Fates. So it's getting a Quest 3 update and a mixed reality update. So it's 6 levels coming to mixed reality that you need to map your home for in terms of how it works, and then
I watched the trailer, and the only thing I noticed, because they put out a thing recently saying they're going to be updating the voice actors, and I noticed that one of the voice acting sounds a little bit different. I was like, oh, this is coming from someone who's fine with the voice acting in the game, so that was the only thing really took away from the trailer, was the difference in the voice acting.
I did see someone's gameplay of the mixed reality mode literally about 20-30 minutes ago, and it seemed like it was like the opposite of mixed reality, where you were in the game and then they were looking through a visor and then they were seeing their own house through the visor, so it was like the opposite of reality. It was really weird, but I don't really know too much about the game to comment on it.
It does say that you basically you take up the visor in game to enter into the mixed reality mode. So it does sound like an interesting take on it.
I will be trying it 100%.
Yeah.
I really do enjoy Stride Fates, so I'll be on that.
I've wanted to try that one as well. It looks like it's a bit like Mirror's Edge, right?
Yeah, it's really worth
with
it.
combat.
It's just fun. You can grab the enemies as well, so you can grab their arm, stop them from shooting, and then punch them in the face. And
is that the way you can kind of like sling around as well? Am I thinking something different?
Yeah, you use a slingshot
so
to kind of
attack
pull
on
yourself
Titan,
across.
Spider-Man style.
It's definitely worth checking out.
And then, lastly, for you horror fans, which I know you both are, you've got a Quest 3 update coming for the Exorcist Legion, which has also been announced to be coming to PSVR 2. So it's a double announcement there. So I know this is one, Sean, you said you were interested in.
Yeah, I played the Quest 2 version of that maybe 2 years ago, and I remember speaking to the guys at Wolf and Wood if they were going to be making like a PlayStation version or a new Quest version, and they didn't really comment on it, but they said just like keep your eyes open or ears open for it. But this is a game that I did really enjoy, but it did feel like it was Quest 2 hardware. It felt really dated. It felt like a PS1 game or something. Not to say it was bad, but I just feel like the game could definitely do with an upgrade to make the atmosphere a lot better in the game, because it does have atmosphere and it is quite creepy, especially if it comes to like the PSVR 2 with the OLED, because the blacks and the darkness is where it really stands out.
Yeah.
And Quest 3, I don't know what sort of improvements it would have besides normal textures and visuals, but I think it definitely needs one because more people need to play that game, and there is supposed to be a sequel coming out at some point as well, developed by someone else, but I had a good time playing that game, and it was creepy the way the sounds work in that game. You just have these weird whispers coming from you from all different directions, and I think it would be good to have some haptics in there as well.
Yeah. I was going to say, and not another one that I'm getting better at trying scary games, but it sounds like I don't like any games really, but I do. But I'm a bit of a wuss when it comes to scary games, but I'm trying.
It's the best. It's the best for VR. You want VR to sort of make you feel a certain way. If you can feel scared, you know that the VR's doing a good job.
Its job. Yeah.
Horror in VR is just next level.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll try and experience that sometime. But
I mean, you played Propagation, right?
I have played Propagation.
Yeah.
That was quite scary.
Yeah, that was
quite scary.
I'm going to be honest, that was pretty jumpy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what we could be playing and could be getting scared. But some of the things we have been playing are not very scary. Well, some maybe a wee bit scary and some less scary. But I'm going to reverse the order on this, because I think the one we need to talk about first is the one we've probably had the most fun with, Reese. I don't know if you've played this, Sean.
I haven't. I don't even know what it is. I've just heard the title a lot, but I don't know what it is.
You're going to download it after this.
And you'll come and play it with us, and you'll have the best time. So we've played a hell of a lot of ForeVR Cornhole.
Yeah.
And I mean, really, I think we were aware of this, and it's a free-to-play game. You can buy the premium edition, but it's free-to-play. And all it is you with all these different kind of bean bags, throwing it in a hole. And I think if you're American, you're probably really familiar with cornhole. I think it's a very American sport, isn't it? Like, well, hobby, fun activity. It's not really a sport, is it? Yeah. And it is that simple, but boy, is it fun and addictive and competitive and silly. And like, I think the beauty in this game is the simplicity again, but it's also like you can, as you progress, you can customise what your beanbag looks like and customise your cornhole. So like Reese was throwing beanbags through my iced.
What is a cornhole? What's a cornhole? Like,
it's basically like a wedge. It's like a wedge ramp with a hole in it. So you're just basically throwing it from the other side of the room to throwing a beanbag in a hole.
So you get points depending where you hit it.
Yeah.
So is it sort of motion based? Is it like the faster you move the controller, the further it goes?
Yeah, you grab the beanbag and you just like you're throwing it, and it is basically as simple as that. And it's 1v1 or 2v2, and it's the first to either get to 11 or 21, and it's you get 3 points if you get it in the hole and 1 point if you land it on the board, and then you get 4 shots each per round, and the differential is what gets added on to your actual score. And it's a hell of a lot of fun.
The other thing is the use of YouTube integration on this game. Like, literally, you'll be sitting there and Alex will just whacked on his own little playlist on the YouTube thing, and we're just what in between throwing the beanbags, you just turn, look at the other person and just doing a little dance along to the music. I love it. It's such a fun game.
Explain this YouTube integration to me.
So basically, when you're in the game, you've got like this little media centre or media hub. It's like a screen and you go over and it's basically just a YouTube panel, and you just go and put your music on and you can share it with the group. So you can either be playing your own music along, or you can share what you're playing with everybody else, and it's just it is literally just YouTube, and it works incredibly well. Like, so I was making them listen to, what did I have you listen to? The hits of 1985?
Yeah, it was like the 80s and the 90s, and then I think you put on the Taylor Swift Coldplay. I tried to annoy everyone by putting on some metal, and then we instantly had to turn it off because it was just too loud. So we was like, no, that's even I thought it was too loud. But
so this is an actual YouTube search. You're actually searching
it as YouTube, yeah.
Oh wow!
But it just works so well. It's just like Alex said, it's such a simple game, and every time we played it, we just leave just laughing. It's just so much fun.
I'll get this one downloaded, definitely.
Yeah, you need to try it. And it's not. I'm not gonna lie, it's probably not that much fun on your own. You need to be playing it together. Like, you can play it on your own and it's fine, but you need to be in a group of you, and it's just the internet. It's a bit like, it probably falls into that walkabout mini golf category, whereas when you're playing that in a group, it's just so much fun. Whereas you can play walkabout yourself, and the quality of the game of walkabout is like head and shoulders above this, but the experience of this and the social experience of it, and that ability to go and like shove a playlist on and to do things like that, it just kind of, it's things like that make you really realise like some of the bits that the PSVR 2 misses. Like, because you can do that as well. So you've got like the ForeVR or ForeVR Bow and ForeVR Pool, and you can do all that in the Quest version of them, but you can't do it in the PSVR 2 version because it just doesn't work in the same way. And you can really see where that is lacking in some aspects, and it's a much better experience on the Quest than it is in the PSVR 2.
It'd be good to see more games do that.
2. Yeah.
Because the integration is there for all these different media platforms. Like, you have the big cinema mode and stuff like that, so all those things are missing. I believe there was more of that on the PlayStation VR 1, which hasn't come over to the 2, but yeah, more games should do cool things like that to just make it more interesting.
I agree.
Definitely the social game for us at the moment, that's for sure.
We were playing it last night, and one of the guys off Discord came on with us, and he was very negative at the beginning. He's like, "What shit is this? This is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life." Like, and then by the end, he was absolutely loving it, wasn't he? Like, once he actually worked it out, he was like, "Right, okay, I judged this far too early. This is a lot of fun." Like, it surprises you. Definitely surprises you.
Yeah. It is one of the things that I think will shock a lot of people when they've played it for a good few minutes. Once you get used to your throws, that's it. You're having a whale of a time.
Yeah. Another one that we had a bit of a wheel of a time, and I think we're going to go through a theme here, Sean, that you've probably not played most of these, but...
No, I've played one of them. I played one of them.
So, Undercover, have you played, is this the one that you...
I've not played that one. I saw a trailer for that one early after I saw some of the notes, and that's the one that looks kind of like a Time Crisis game,
it's
right?
very much Time Crisis, isn't it? So
I am interested now.
It's great.
We jumped into this together, and it's just, again...
Is it co-op?
Yeah.
All the way through as well. It's no kind of like tutorial to stop. There's a little tutorial at the beginning which takes all of 5 minutes to teach you how to shoot and duck. That's pretty much it. But the missions, the story, the commentary, like the dialogue from each of the characters, it's cartoonish. It doesn't take itself seriously, and it's just an overall fun experience. It does remind me of that arcade light gun shooter, Time Crisis style shooter.
Is it on rails, or can you?
Yeah,
move?
on the rails. Yeah.
And it's that way, it's as you say that, it's like there's a lot of games where you've wanted that arcade light gun shooter, and this is the one that kind of feels like it delivers that for me. It properly gives you that nostalgic view, even like to the extent of the guns, the characters, like how you're like ducking up and down, all the kind of over the top like explosions and things like that, the silly settings, like at one point you're shooting these enemies that their heads are just popping up out of a ball pit and stuff. It's like ridiculous.
I feel like that's a genre that can actually survive in VR. Like they're not going to bring out light gun games anymore with actual guns.
No.
It's probably just as good in VR now with haptics and controllers, so bring on like House of the Dead and stuff like that in VR, because it's perfect for it really in this day and age.
I think the nice thing as well is, like, at the start of the game, you do actually start it inside of an arcade. So you're looking at an undercover arcade machine. You've got this arcade gun, the bright neon colour, and then you just have to shoot the screen to start the whole experience.
That's cool.
And they right there from the get-go, they see themselves as this arcade light gun shooter. They don't take it too seriously. They know what they were going for, and it does it well. It gives me that experience that I've wanted from a light gun shooter, because I feel like a lot of them I've played have had that arcade light gun shooter feel, but then they've either added, movement, locomotion, loads of different things, like upgrading your equipment, getting different, just things that are not needed from that experience. We were just playing it and constantly trying to beat each other's scores, and I think with the co-op side of it, I kind of wish I didn't do the collated scores where it looks like you're versing each other. But at the same point, it was fun, kind of just have. I suppose that people did enjoy that side of it.
I mean, it was quite nice that, because of the odd occasion where I did beat you, that was like, oh, I beat you this time finally, because you're just too fast and things like this. But before you've got a chance at shooting anyone, this is taking like most of them out. So you're like, well, it's point in being here. But like it still adds a little element. See if there was two of you that maybe were like really similar in abilities, and it just at the end of each, not even the end of each level, like each level's probably broken into maybe about 10 stages or something, maybe more than that even.
I think there's like 10 stages on the level. Is it 5 levels per mission, 5 chapters per mission?
Something like that.
It's about an hour a mission, wasn't it, or 30 minutes for the whole first section we did. So I think we were kind of calculated like 2 hours probably to finish the campaign, maybe a little bit more. There was a boss at the end of the first one as well, which was nice. I wasn't expecting it to fight a huge boss at the end of it. So I think it has a lot going for it. I really do.
But it gave you a score at the end of each of those 10 bits of the level. So like for each section, it was scoring you against each other and giving you like a rating of like an S to E rating. I think it was. So I mean, I think that was quite a nice element to it. It is that proper arcadey style, and it's unapologetically arcade, as you say, and it's exactly what I wanted in this type of game. Like when I seen this first announced, I think it was at one of the Upload VR showcases or something last year, and I'm like, very much this is what I expected it to be, and it hasn't disappointed for me. And I know maybe some people have been like, it's a bit too silly, it's a bit too this, it's a bit too that. I'm like, but it's supposed to be.
Yeah, you know what you're getting into when you watch the trailer of the game. So
that's the thing. They know what they wanted to do, and like it's like they've done it right. That's all I can really say about it. I've not got any complaints really.
No, definitely worth checking out. I think I would say definitely worth a look if you like. If you've got an itching for that type of game, or you like that type of game, then it's one of the better versions that I've certainly played. The other game then, I guess, Sean, there must be a game that you have played.
I have played this one, I have, yes.
So this is Titanic is based between. So this is one that's come out on Quest at the minute and is coming to PSVR 2 later in the year, I believe. So this is what a horror set in the Titanic. Oh, I suspect is it more suspenseful? I don't know. You
Thriller.
Thriller.
I've only played maybe an hour, maybe 90 minutes tops of the game, and I was looking forward to this one when I first saw it announced because it looked like it's a cool concept. There's time travel, the Titanic, and a little bit of a horror vibe, and just the whole location of it was interesting. So yeah, I've been looking forward to playing this one for a while, and when I got my hands onto it, I tried to play this in a dark room first, and the hands were just not working. I got locked into a room because I couldn't twist the valve because the hand tracking wasn't working. But when I went back into downstairs in the lighting and played it, I was having a good time. It's interesting to just walk around the Titanic and see just like the aspects of the time period where people are shoveling in like the coal, and you actually have to do that. You have to do certain things on the ship, which puts you in that perspective, which was interesting. I could probably just walk around the ship in a free mode and just take it all in without any of the story or the time travel stuff. But yeah, it's a really interesting game. Like I said, I'm not too far into it. The visuals are nice as well, especially on like the close up, the textures on the hands and stuff. It looks really nice on the Quest. So can't wait to see what they do on the other ports of it when it comes out on those consoles as well. But nice sort of water physics, and it's just overall a nice story based game which I've been looking forward to. So it's good to get into it.
Have you played this one, Reese?
I have, yes. I agree with a lot of it. Although you didn't touch on the enemies, or not the enemies, the
apparitions.
Kind of the jump scare type of things. What was your first impression when seeing them?
Well, I wasn't expecting them at all, honestly, because I was expecting this to be just like a sort of a thriller Titanic game, and when very shortly into, it's not really spoilers, but within the first couple of minutes I was seeing things that I wasn't expecting. I was like, what type of game is this? What's the story? So I don't know how it plays into it, or if it's just there for it to just be a jump scare. I don't know. I'm sure it will play into the narrative at some point, but yeah, I mean, I'm never going to say no to some horror in a game, so
exactly.
Unless it's completely unnecessary, but yeah.
So like everything you've said, like with from the shoveling, the coal, like when that started, I just wanted to keep doing that for another 20 minutes. I don't know if that's a weird thing to say, just in VR, just shoveling coal. I weirdly enjoyed that.
Yeah, well, they were like, you've got to do this for the next 2 hours. I was like, okay, keep going.
Yeah,
it's amazing the things you do in VR.
It's genuinely the thing is this, you need to do this for 2 hours. And I was like, oh, well, that's stupid. And then I was like, after a minute, I could do this for 2 hours. Let's keep this going. And then
I started really speeding up as well. I was trying to get as fast as I could.
And the rest of it starts going. Like you said, with the water, I was really impressed with how the water looks on this, and I am excited to see how the textures, the water, and everything looks on the PSVR 2 and the other ports. I'm going to say
one thing that I did notice, it was literally within the first few minutes, and I think they have mentioned that they are going to be sort of fixing this or working on it, but it's that is it the foveated rendering sort of thing? I remember looking at the floor, and as I was walking, I could just see the textures like loading in as I was looking, and it was really close in, so everything within like 2 meters was super blurry, and then as soon as I walked up, it all kind of loaded in, and that was my first impression. But maybe I was just looking too close into it, but they are working into it, I think.
I wouldn't say it's criticism, because I think they can fix it, and I think they're probably going to be aware of it, is the character you see, or the apparition, as you said, in like the gown. I feel like it could look a little bit creepier, a little bit scarier, because when there's a bit where you kind of see it in a room, I'm not saying exactly this happens, but there's a bit where you see it in a room, and I turned around, I maybe jumped, but there was no fear after the initial, it's there, and then I kind of looked at his hand and noticed that his fingers were stuck together, you couldn't see separation of the fingers, but they've got the creepiness of it there. I just think they may need to work on the textures a little bit of that thing.
I think that's a common thing with sort of Quest compared to PC and consoles.
It's
shadows and lighting. They don't have the shadows to sort of create atmosphere. They're always kind of really a lot brighter. It's like the zombies in Saints and Sin are all like really bright, and you can see, I don't know, you just can't see the hidden details to them if they were in like a dark moonlit area or something like that.
But yeah, from what I've played so far, I'm really intrigued by the story.
Me
That's
too.
one thing where I just want to keep playing it just because of the story. I want to know like this whole, and the voice acting as well is really good, and that always adds to story elements to me is voice acting. But yeah, again, I noticed this, even though it's full release, it is on AppLab, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's obviously there's still things that they're still doing to the game. So whatever we mentioned here could be changed within the next 2 days' time.
I believe it's only a very small team, like 2 people as well.
I think it's 2. Yeah,
it's
I think
ambitious.
It's 2
I tell you, it's ambitious what they're doing. Then definitely, and I think they've got a lot going for it. And I think a lot of people, like you said, would want to just explore the Titanic, and that's one of the things that intrigued me by this as well.
I do believe they've got an exploration mode in the game as well, or it's coming soon.
The horror element is a bonus, so I'm liking what I've played so far. Like I said, there's just little bits here and there that I'm hoping, again, with the ports and different things planted in headsets, I think we'll notice them improvements there.
I think it'd be quite a successful game in the end.
I do as well. I think it can, if a lot of people have the interest in it, I think they'll find a place for it.
I mean, does it have Celine Dion though?
She is the apparition, I believe.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
she's looked at that for a while, so
makes sense. That's why she's got her hands all stuck together and she's just a bit.
I mean, it's just that it's the YouTube functionality that's built in there, isn't it? You can go and put My Heart Will Go On, and then that's it. We're sorted. We're sorted.
Yeah. Any
other games you've been playing worth a mention? I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
No, not on the top of my head. No. I think you've touched on
there will be plenty, we just can't remember.
I had a quick go on Arizona Sunshine 2. I know there's a Quest 3 patch for that, which I've not tried, but I brought my PC downstairs and I decided I've got the space down here, and I had to go on Arizona Sunshine 2 on the Quest 3 via the PC, and it was smooth as butter, and the graphic fidelity was great, and I just had a really good time playing that.
Maybe I should try that.
PCVR can be quite fiddly, but if you get it right, it can be really good.
Yeah. I've still not really tried that. I need to try it. Yeah. Okay. Our main topic for tonight, well, it's not really a topic, but it's something we did kind of touch on the last time, and something that we've all picked up since the last time we were here. So, obviously, the Quest has a standalone headset. It runs off a battery, but for some people that battery is maybe not quite long enough. So we have all picked up, well, I was going to say we've all picked up a battery headset. We all do have one type of battery headset. Some of us have got 2. I mean, because some of us just need to try them all. And his talking about getting a third. So I just wanted to talk a bit about the headsets that we've picked up. Sorry, the Headstraps we've picked up, and what our kind of impressions and stuff are with that. So I think we'll start with the Kiwi. So we've all picked up the Kiwi battery headset. Some of us have got the charging stand as well. You can maybe just see it behind me.
Very nice.
It went out of focus, but you can see the lights. Everybody loves an RGB. So this is. I've had absolutely no history with standalone VR, and no history with this type of headset, head strap, battery pack, or anything. So this is my first impressions of something like that, and I have been incredibly impressed with this. Like, I did not like the stock head strap that came with the Quest 3. It was not comfortable. It pulled your face in, hurt your eyes. Like, every bit about it I didn't like, and immediately putting that head strap on, the nice bit of padding at the back, like, it feels, I thought, is this going to feel heavy? It actually feels lighter than it did before, because it's just so perfectly set across your head, and I've been very, very impressed by this thing. I mean, like, I don't have a huge use case for a battery strap, because I probably don't serve that long of a gaming session, but it's nice to have it sitting charging all the time, that it's always charged. It's nice if I do take it somewhere that it does last for you have actually timed this, Reese. I've kind of tried to extrapolate how long I think it's going to last based on what kind of level.
My numbers?
Yeah, give us your numbers.
Shall we make a guess first? Shall we make a guess?
Go on. So this is including the headset itself, battery, and the head strap.
4 hours and 15 minutes.
Close. So I tried to put it through its paces with trying mixed reality, VR, also the social apps, so sitting watching YouTube, big screen and things like that, just so I could try and wear the battery down as quick as possible. Because obviously with the normal headset itself, you'd use mixed reality, you'd kill the battery in about 50 minutes. So I thought I'd put it through its paces that way. and I got 4 hours and 31 minutes in it until it went down to 1%, and then that's when it kind of kept getting the notifications. So for me, I'm going to be honest with you, after the 2.5 hour mark, I was ready to take the headset off, but I was determined to see how long I could get out of this thing, to the point where I did walk around the house with it, go get a drink with it on, and say hi to the missus while wearing the headset, and then went back upstairs just to kind of not take it off in intervals to let it charge by the head strap. But so the actual Kiwi strap itself kept the headset at 100%. I know there's a lot of things out there of people saying certain head straps don't keep the headset at 100%. It kind of stays at it for a certain point, then drops down. The Kiwi kept it at 100%. And like I said, after 2.5 hours, 3 hours, I was ready to come out of it anyway. But 4 hours, 31 minutes. I think you could probably push it to 5 hours if you just played VR and not mixed reality, not social apps, not using every single camera as you would. So I think you could probably push it to 5 hours.
Because I think during that time when you were doing it, you played something as well. We were in a call, and there was it was basically using all of the functionality of it. Everything
of the Quest, I put it through while doing that, just because I was really determined to know how long it could go for.
Sean, I think you picked this up first, so you probably had the longest with it. What's your thoughts on it? Because you've had other head straps in the past, haven't you?
I've only ever had the Kiwi non-battery strap, the comfort strap for the Quest 2. So I knew I was kind of happy with Kiwi, so that's why I chose to wait for the Kiwi for the Quest 3. And I've all great things about it. I think we were playing Dungeons of Eternity the first time we played it, and you guys, your batteries died.
We're gone,
I think was I on like 97%, so my battery had only just died by that point. So for me, that's definitely long enough, because like you guys said, most of the time I think 90 minutes to 2 hours is probably as long as you're probably going to want to spend in VR. If you want to go longer, you can, but I think most people get enough done in the game they're playing in that amount of time to be ready to leave it. But the comfort's there, because I was having a lot of, I wouldn't say a lot, but with the facial pad for the Quest, I was just sort of getting like red blotchy skin and marks from it. It just felt really itchy, and all you guys didn't really have that problem. It was more the strap, but for me it was the facial pad which was more of a problem. So when I got the Kiwi strap, I realised it didn't come with an actual padding, so I had to buy one of them as well. So now I've got sort of the best of both worlds. I've got the head strap and the front padding, so now I'm living good on the Quest.
I will say, now having a head strap and obviously having that dial in, tighten it up, I have noticed that now I do want a different facial interface for the Quest, because I have noticed with the roughness of that fabric on the existing one.
I suppose if you're pulling it tighter in as well.
I'm kind of looking at myself in the camera here, and I feel like I can actually see like the outline here, but I might just be wrong.
That's just your face, Reese.
Thanks, Alex. I wasn't aware of that, but it's one of the things. So after playing it for the 4.5 hours, yes, I did have this redness to my face, which I think didn't die down until the next day. So I wouldn't advise playing it for 4.5 hours with the existing facial interface. So I'm gonna pick up one of them next, definitely.
Sorry,
I was just gonna say, I think a big benefit as well. It depends who you live with or how many friends want to try out VR, but the base strap is so awkward to get people to learn how to adjust and put it on for themselves. I think I had like family come around and I tried to get them to go on it, and it was just like it's too big or it's too small, and then trying to from the outside then tell them how to adjust the strap.
Just pull that little bit. And you're like, no.
Having the Kiwi one where you can literally just stick it on, twist the dial till you're ready, and most of the time you don't really have to mess around with the top strap. It's just it's very good for stuff like that, for if you want someone to just check out VR, like a friend or family member or partner, they can just stick it on and twist it and it's done.
Yeah, because the one thing I kind of got a bit concerned with using something like this, if you were doing something a bit more energetic, like some of the more fitness titles and stuff like that, like how is it going to sit and fit in my head? Is it going to feel heavy? Is it going to move about? And it doesn't. It's quite secure. It's fine. You don't notice that extra weight.
It's like the weight distribution is more to the back rather than just one thing on the front of your face.
Yeah, I'd say the weight distribution's done really well with the Kiwi. It's not too heavy to the point where you notice it on the back, to the point where if you tilt your head one way, you feel it dip. Whereas I have felt that on the other strap.
And I suppose that's maybe a good time to talk about the other strap, because you are the only one out of us who has tried one of the alternatives, so maybe worth giving that a bit.
I tried the Aubika, which is the 8,000 milliamp strap, and I'm going to be honest with you, it's a good strap. I've got no issues with it, and I really do like it. My only thing I would like on the back of it is probably some more padding. There's no padding on, like, I've got it down here, let me quickly show you. So on the back bit of here, you've got no padding on there. And I did find that was less comfortable on my head than the Kiwi. But other than that, it's pretty much exactly the same. You know, they all look the same. But for me, I definitely preferred having that padding on the back when using the Kiwi. And because obviously where this is 8,000 milliamp, I did feel the first time I put it on was, oh wow, I could really feel this going like that and dipping from side to side. That was my issue with it.
So does it feel as lightweight as the Kiwi?
No, I'd say this one feels a little bit more heavier, definitely. But again, it's one of the things, like, if you are someone that's going to be taking your Quest from one place to another and then taking it to, you know, a range of friends, and then you're probably not going to be able to charge it. There's, you know, 8,000 milliamp, that lasts me close to 6 hours. So it's one of them things where, again, I think for someone that's using their Quest at home, you're not going to need it. You're not going to need 6 hours playtime. But again, with the 6 hours, if you do deplete all of that, the charge time on it was quite a lot, to the point where I think I only got it back up to its full charge before I wanted to play it again, maybe once or twice, because of how long it does take to charge. But it does have a turn off and turn on button with the Aubika, which is a good thing. I really did like that. So yeah, I see the benefits of both head straps. Again, they're both the exact same style of head straps. You know, you've got the thing on top. They are the exact same style. So I think it's one of them things where I feel like if you've got either one, you're going to be happy with it. You could probably get anything and you'd be happier than the stock strap, that's for sure. But especially with the SPC Kiwi strap, just putting it on that dock and just knowing I can pick it up again, it's charged and ready for me to play. It's a great feeling. It's just I don't have to
one
keep
thing
putting
I
the
regret.
Yeah.
I did not get the SPC one because I didn't even know there was an SPC one.
They brought it out like a month after the initial one, didn't they? Yeah.
And there's also the Bobo, an alternative which none of us can talk to. It's got the 10,000 milliamp battery and the silly fan, if you want a fan on your head and look like a fanny with it. But I mean, like, it's I joke because I'm sure these things have, I mean, people who have got this are very happy with it. I personally can't see the need to have a battery of that length, as we've spoken about.
10,000 milliamps is, it's overkill.
It must be heavy, right?
That's my concern, because like I said, although after about a week of using the Aubika, I was used to it, no issues. But like it's now I've tried 2 separate ones with different battery sizes, and then the thought of having 10,000 milliamps on the back of your head as well. I just don't know how I feel about that. But at the same
I also feel like that one's a little bit more cumbersome because, and I know people like these detachable and rechargeable batteries, but you need a bigger compartment to attach it to and take it off. So, I mean, as I say, I'm joking in what I'm saying about this because I can't comment on it. I've not seen it. I've not used it, but it's another alternative, and they are the kind of probably 3 main alternatives. There are plenty of other ones out there, but they're the kind of 3 main ones.
It does have the positive of a removable battery, because if your headset dies, it's gone. If your battery dies, you can get a replacement, which is a good thing, but I don't know.
I'd say each 3 of them have a place, and the way I look at it is if you use your Quest at home and you're not going to be taking it out, get the Kiwi, because especially get the SPC one with the charge dock, because you can just place it down there and you haven't got it's ready when you go back to it. If you're somebody that again likes the similar style as the Kiwi, get the Aubika if you're taking it out and you're going around and you're not always at home to charge it, because then you've got that style. And again, it kind of works the same with the Bobo. I mean, now I've got the Kiwi on, I don't think I'm going to be taking it off, because I do find it incredibly comfortable. That padding on the back, I didn't realise how much that helped, because the first time I put the Aubika on and tightened it up, I did feel, because I get pressure headaches sometimes if I tighten things up too much. And I did feel that pressure on the back of my head there, whereas I didn't feel that with the Kiwi at all because of the padding. So there's a place for all 3 of them, and I think no matter which one you're going to get, you're going to be happier than the stock strap, 100%.
Agreed.
So it's not saying one's better than the other, because I see the benefits of both of these that I've got. and I probably would again if I had the Bobo, I'd probably see the benefits of that. So it's
It
not
all
saying that
comes
one's better.
down to you.
Yeah, exactly.
All three of them are good. It's your dependent.
Yeah, exactly that.
And if you are after the Kiwi, we do have a little saving that you can get from us. So if you use the code CBVR at kiwidesign.com, you can save yourself 5%. We will put the link in the show description as well, but at least it saves you a little bit of something. It's always nice to save a wee bit of money. So yeah, code CBVR at kiwidesign.com and you'll save a bit too. We're nearing the end. I just wanted to talk very quickly about some of the things that have either been announced or are coming pretty soon. So I've got a little list here. Before this comes out, these two will be out, but they are coming this week, and that's Stranger Things VR and Tiger Blade. So Stranger Things was delayed. I don't know too much about it. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to fit in, but it's one you can imagine a lot of people are looking forward to. Is it one that's on either of your radars?
I'm interested in it just because I like the show. I've watched gameplay. I'm not really interested in the gameplay. I'm more interested in maybe the story element that they might tell.
Yeah, I'm nonplussed either way about playing it, but I do like the show, and I do like that they're making a different take of it because you're playing as the villain in this time.
Yeah.
So you're not just the kid. It's a different way of telling the story from a perspective of a character we don't really know too much about. So I love horror, so we're playing as a villain. So come on, and it's definitely got a point for that. So let's see how it is.
Yeah, because it could have been very easy for them just to go down that, or this, you are this character and that's how the show is, and we're just telling you a very slightly different story to the show does, and it fits in here. So it's nice to do a different take on it. So that's the 22nd of February along with Tiger Blade. And Tiger Blade, have you played Tiger Blade, Sean?
No, I haven't, no.
So me and you, have both played it on PSVR 2, both liked it. You had some issues which have now been fixed.
Yeah, they've patched it today, and I tried it for like 20 minutes to see if they fixed the issues, and they're fixed. Everything I raised in my review has been, they've squashed it.
What were the issues, just sort of?
So the first one was recentering issues. So basically, where I was standing in my room, it would make it so I was further back than the game would need me to be to attack things. So therefore I had to walk forward, which obviously playing in VR you don't want to walk out of your safe space. So from doing that I hit my controller on, I think it was like the close rail, a damaged part of my controller, not to the point where it's broken or anything, but it's a little mark on it. I nearly hit my TV. So obviously there was a lot of issues I had with it to the point where it's not so much of the game, I still completed the game like that, but there was the risk of me hitting things in my room which I didn't want to hit.
Yeah.
And the other one was smooth turning. There was no smooth turning, so they've added both of them now, and they've also, I think, done a resolution fix as well to give it a higher resolution.
Awesome.
And I loaded it up, and straight away I was in the position that you should be in. I was like, yep, it's fixed. Just from the menu screen, I knew it's fixed.
So hopefully then the version comes to the Quest is the best version of this game.
Yeah.
It's one we both enjoyed. I think people should check this one out. It's a really fun, fast-paced action.
Yeah. Music, rhythmy.
It's
leadable chasing.
It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, just go with that.
Yeah, it's fun. But yeah, definitely worth a look. So that's both of them 22nd of February, as I said. Then next up, there's lots coming, but these are just a few that I've picked out. It's one that I really quite like to look of again since it was one of the showcases last year, is the Pirate Queen. So this is coming out the 7th of March, and this is kind of leading lady Lucy Liu is playing the main character in this. I think she's directing it or something particularly as well, and it's a very narrative driven adventure again. A bit like, you kind of felt like when you were describing the Titanic one, this is the kind of feeling I get from this, and it feels like quite highly produced. So I'm quite looking forward to checking this one out.
I haven't heard of that.
Not really heard of it. I would recommend going and have a look, because
I will have a look at that one after this.
I had a look at it just previous to the show. I think I saw a trailer somewhere early, but I saw like a launch trailer, and it looks pretty good. It's kind of got like a Lara Croft vibe to it. I don't know what it is. Is she an explorer or something? But it seems to be based on some kind of true history story, and seems to be lots of puzzles and traversing around ships, and it's got a good setting and vibe to it. So yeah, it does look pretty interesting.
I mean, who doesn't love Lucy Liu? I mean, do you even remember her being in anything on the TV?
Is it already? I mean, I know Lucy Liu. Is this
Crouching
game already
Tiger,
on the?
maybe?
Is it already on the Quest store, like on like the pre-order section and things like that?
I think it might be. It's certainly
I
only
might
the date was only announced recently, so it was only announced maybe the last week or so.
came across a Pirate Queen or Pirate
Yeah.
something on the Quest source. I think I've seen it. I've just not watched anything about it. But the fact that you've got quite a big actress name behind it, it does give me a little bit more faith into what maybe they're trying to go with as well.
Yeah, I mean they have the budget to pay for Lucy Liu, so hopefully the game reflects that.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. It's certainly got promise, I think, so we'll see how it lands. We're then get 2 games again on the 21st of March, and one I'm really looking forward to. So Max Mustard is one of the games I'm most looking forward to at the minute. Like it's it's that game that's going to give me Astrobot before PlayStation give me Astrobot. I feel like it just everything you see of this game just looks so good.
Is it a new game or is it sort of like an older game that's now coming to
No, it's
Quest?
a new game.
New game.
It's a new game, yeah. So this is the first, because all that this team have really done is Richie's Plank experience, isn't it? So like,
Yeah, pretty much.
They're kind of Toast Inc, isn't it? Toast Interactive.
Toasty. Is it Toasty or Toasty Interactive?
It's Toast, I think. I'm sure it's Toast.
Something Toast. There we go.
Toast Interactive, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think it is Toast Interactive. I'm just thinking of Mortal Kombat Toasty.
So I mean, this just looks so bright, colourful, but it's that proper VR platformer experience that I've really wanted since and I mean, there's been some versions of it, but this looks like a very, very good version of it, and I really hope it doesn't disappoint. And it was supposed to be coming to App Lab in February and then going into the main store in March, but they managed to be allowed not to have to go to App Lab. I don't know exactly how that process works, but it seems like that there might be some requirements for Meta that you need to go into App Lab before you can get into the full store or something for some games, and maybe depending on like the history of the game or the studio or something, I'm not sure. But it's coming now on the 21st of March, and I'm very much looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I don't have much experience with sort of VR games where it's actually a platformer in third person. I've seen a few of them. Is it the same sort of vibe as Moss, where it's kind of the characters in the forefront and you're just watching, sort of?
Yeah.
I don't know how the gameplay plays into it, because it looks like it could be sort of played on a controller, but I'm guessing you interact with things via the motion controls.
Yeah, I think you interact with more of the bits of the environment and stuff. I think similar to Moss. I think, isn't it? Well, not.
Yeah.
It feels a bit more fluid than Moss, I would say.
Yeah, I'd say you have more of an interaction in this than you would in Moss. Whereas obviously in Moss you kind of just pick up Quill when she's down and things like that. And there's some other little bits and bobs you do. But here you have I think it's a plunger gun. It looks like a plunger gun. You have to shoot things at certain parts of the walls.
Yeah.
And it's like Alex said, it gives him that Astrobot vibe. And it's the closest thing I can say as well, because obviously on the PSVR 1 version of Astrobot you had the controller that kind of turned into different attachments, and you would aim with these different attachments like crossbows and, well, not crossbows, it's like a rope. And yeah, I think it's going to give people that feeling that they need.
I feel like a lot of people are asking for that feeling as well, so
they're going to fill the void unless PlayStation jump in quickly and go, here you go, we've got Astrobot ready for you, woohoo. But I'm not holding my breath.
No, but hopefully it delivers, as I said. The other one coming the 21st of March is Lawnmower Simulator VR, which I loved this game, like the flat version of this game. It's another one of those games a bit like Powerwash Simulator that just like clicked, and it was just one of those games you wouldn't expect to enjoy, but you could lose hours and hours and hours in it. I can't personally see how this works in VR. I think Powerwash, you can feel like you can hold in the Powerwash. I mean, can you really imagine sitting on the lawnmower and just sitting there and like steering every so often? Like I'll be proven wrong, I'm sure. Yeah. I'm sure it'll come along.
From the trailer I just saw they were like flicking the switch and like reversing and then turning and reversing, and I don't know how enjoyable that'll be, but
no,
I'm not as excited as I've seen some people be. But again, it's one of the things where it's like, if I get a chance to try it, I will. But at the same point, it's like I would like to be surprised by this one. Though I would.
Yeah. See, I mean, I think it's an interesting one because the first one was that kind of unexpected hit. Well, not the first one, sorry, the flat version was such a kind of unexpected hit, and it's like, how is this one going to land? I'm not sure. I mean, there's plenty of other things you don't see how they're going to work in VR, and they do, and it could be another one like that, but I don't. Powerwash Simulator, absolutely. This, I don't know.
I think they need to take it back like 500 years and just have it be like a garden hose simulator where you have the big thing and just actually chop the grass.
Yeah.
That might be more fun.
Like co-op and every friend drag it along with you.
Yeah.
I'm all for that. So instantly, I'm more excited.
Or
Let's
a
do
shovel,
that.
a coal shoveling simulator. Where's that one?
I'm sure you probably find one.
I'm gonna look.
So, and then lastly, this is one that's been announced, and we've talked about this on the main CBVR, but C Smash VRS is coming to Quest, and it is exactly where it should be coming to, because this game is perfect for Quest. Such a good game, such a good experience. You're going to get the best version of this coming to Quest as well. Like when this launched on PSVR 2, it was maybe bare bones is unfair, but it wasn't as mode filled as it is now. Like the amount of stuff they've added since has really elevated this game. And I think when you take this onto a standalone headset, get rid of that tethering, go and take it outside, go and find a big space to play it in, you will. This will do so well on Quest. I think it's such a good game.
That's the
I'm
big,
looking forward
big
to playing
plus.
on Quest.
Yeah, the big plus is you can know exactly how much space you have in your environment anywhere you want, and you can play it without breaking things. I mean, you probably could break things, but with it being wireless, you can choose exactly where you want to play it, rather than being tethered to a wire in a room which might have a lot of electronics nearby.
Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to that coming to Quest 100%, and I'm happy they've made the decision to do so, because it is a game that everyone needs to experience. It's a really good game.
Yeah, I agree. So I don't know if I said the date there, but 4th of April that's coming to Quest. Still a couple of months away. Well, what, 6 weeks actually? Not too long. But I hope the guys do really well with this on Quest. They deserve to, with the hard work they've put into it, and we've kind of got to know the guys quite well, Wolf and Wood and at Rapid Eye Movers, and we really wish them the best of luck with this. So plenty for us to look forward to, plenty for us to talk about the next time. But I think that'll do us for now. Thank you both for joining me again.
Welcome.
Hopefully we won't leave it as long the next time. We have been a wee bit longer than we intended to be, so we are aiming to do something like this maybe once a month. So we will be back soon. Thank you very much for listening. If you have enjoyed it, please do head over to thecrossplayers.com, where you can find links to our Discords, to our socials. If you're watching this on YouTube, please give us a like, subscribe, follow the podcast link, leave us a review, whatever you like. But thank you all again, and we will see you next time. For now, it's goodbye.
Good one.